page 238 and question 19. So basically this is the table you're going to have, right? So you have a table, looks like this. You have output, and then you have total cost, and what you need, what's missing is the marginal cost, okay? So basically that's right, okay? So question A, say assuming a constant cost perfectly competitive industry, what is the firm's profit maximizing output if the price is equal to 40? 陈希才, if the price is equal to 40, what is the output level? Excuse me? Okay, so you look at here, because price is equal to 40, right? P is equal to 40, okay? So what does that mean? That means, okay, here, if the production level is 9, that's not right? Because what you get is 40, but what you have to pay is 45. So marginal revenue is less than marginal cost. So in this case, you should reduce your production level. So it is here. Of course, you know this is 38, it's not 40, right? But if you're gonna do a little bit less, that's not quite right. So here, so the production level is 8. And so what is the producer surplus? So producer surplus will be equal to TR, total revenue, minus total variable cost. So TR, the price is equal to 40, and the production level is equal to 8. And so here, this is total cost, right? So Chen Qicai, what is the fixed cost for this firm? What is the fixed cost for this firm? Okay, so then the total variable cost is 210. So it's minus 210. So 320 minus 210. So what you get? You get 110. Okay, so that's for part A. Okay, part B. Assuming a perfect competitive industry, what is the firm's profit maximized output if the demand declines and causes the price to fall to 35? So now price is 35. So now price is equal to 35. 左右想. So what is the production level for this time? P is equal to 35. Excuse me? 7. Okay? Because if the production level is equal to 8, that is right. This is not right. Because the price you get is 35, right? But you have to pay for 38. In any case, the firm should make a profit, right? So it will be 7. And so, what is the firm's profit and what is the firm's producer surplus? Again, so I mean, if you can determine the production level, right? So of course you can get to the profit and the producer surplus. So we will forget about the second part. Okay. Part C. Assuming a perfectly competitive industry, what is firms maximizing if demand declines further and cause the price to fall to 20? Okay. So now the price is equal to 20. P is equal to 20. Okay, so 谢新佑, if price is equal to 20, what happened? What should be the production level? Here is 20, right? Okay. But let's try to figure out what's going on. So because total cost is 200, right? So total variable cost is equal to 50. Oh, right, sorry. 150. Okay. 150. So in this case, how much will be the average variable cost? AVC. So 谢信佑, how much is the AVC? 25. Okay. So the total variable cost is 25. But sorry, the total variable cost is 150. So average variable cost is 25. And here you got 20. So what should the firm do? So anyway, because the fixed cost is 50, right? So in the short run, the loss has to be less than 50. So let us see what's going on. So total revenue is equal to 20 plus, multiplied by 6. So that's 120, right? And you know the total cost is 200. So TR minus TC is equal to negative 80. So 谢信佑, what will be your decision this time? Excuse me? Exit the market, right? Because your loss, okay, is more than the fixed cost. So there are two ways to deal with the question here. The first one is from AVC, right? So AVC is 25, and what you get, you only get 20. This is one way. The other one is from total revenue and total cost. And you figure out that the loss is actually negative. The loss is 80, right? So it's more than the fixed cost. So question C, okay? Question C, actually what should you do? You should get out of the market, okay? Part D, assuming a perfectly competitive industry and a price equal to 40, what would be the firm's profit maximizing output if the fixed cost increased from 100 to a total of 150? Okay, so if the fixed cost is different now, okay? Sorry, fixed cost is, So if the fixed cost, if FC is 150, okay, so here, so because it's a price is equal to 40, right? Price is 40, so the production level is 8. So total revenue is equal to 40 times 8, so you get 320, okay? But in this case, you're going to increase the cost by how much? By 100, right? So that's so the total cost will be 360, okay? So what does that mean? That means now you have loss. So the loss is equal to $40, right? 320 minus 360, so you got the loss is equal to 40. But the fixed cost is 150, right? The fixed cost is 150, so what does that mean? You should continue to produce, okay? So, nothing quite complicated, but, this kind of question will be in the final again, because we discussed it. Okay, let's get to chapter 9. Chapter 9, the homework is page 256. Page 256, and let me draw the picture for you so we can look at the picture and discuss it. Questions? Questions? No? Okay, Q and P, and so supply, demand, and you have sorry, it doesn't quite match. so consider the market depicted in a figure. It is composed of many buyers, many sellers, meaning that it is perfectly competitive market. So no one is happy with the equilibrium price in this market. So consumers and producers have each decided to do something about it. Two plans have been proposed. Plan 1, fix the market price at P1. Okay, fix the price at P1 and forbid firms from producing any more than Q1. So, sorry, where's Q1? So Q1 here, Q2 here. Okay, set price this high and quantity this low. Okay, so this is one. Second one, fix the market price at P2 and require firms to produce at Q2 in order to avoid a shortage. So answer the questions and justify your answer. So which plan would consumers prefer? So Zhang Zhiwei, which one would produce consumer like? This one or this one? Okay. Of course, consumer would like to have a low price, right? And what about producer? Q1. Sorry, P1. Okay. So, for the society, which one is better? It really depends on the area, right? Okay. So, in this case, for the high price, okay, basically, this is the revenue, okay, available to the producer. But for the whole society, if it is P2, right? Sounds like you can see this area, right, is bigger than this area. So in terms of the whole society, probably this is a better choice. But what's wrong with that, Zhang Zhiwei? Even though for the whole society, you can see, the total revenue for the producer is like this, and the total revenue for the producer in the second regime where the price is low is like that, right? Sounds like, lower price is better. But what's wrong with that? Who? Okay. So if you don't regulate the market, what's wrong with this is because this, we know that, right? What is supply curve? Zhang Zhiwei, what is supply curve? We just discussed some homework, right? Supply curve actually is the marginal cost, okay? The sectional marginal cost above average cost. That's in the long run. If it is in the short run, that's AVC, the minimum of AVC. So basically, supply curve means that is the cost of the firm. At this low price, okay, can the producer cover its cost? The answer is no, right? The firm will have a loss, okay? So this is not right to the producer. Of course, consumer are going to be happy, right? So basically, what you need to do, you really need to have a free market. If it is supply and demand, okay, this is my willingness to pay for consumers, and this is my willingness to accept, this is my cost, okay, that is the best. So let me give you one example about what's going on right now. Lin Yuxiang, at this point, the gasoline price is kind of low, right? But what's the cost to the oil company? Lin Yuxiang, I'm talking about the situation in Taiwan. So let us say, I'm not quite sure about the price, but probably it's about right. 95, right? It's called octane value. Okay, 95 gasoline is $31, right? But as a matter of fact, the oil company, the cost of the oil company is much higher than this. If you read the newspaper, Taiwan's oil company has lost 50% of its capital, right? So what does that mean? Even though the price is low, kind of nice to consumers, but what happened to the producer? They lost 50% of the capital. Is it good? It's not, right? Okay? So this kind of subsidy to consumers will hurt the producer. So if Taiwan's oil company, because they lose all their money, they lose all their capital, what's going to happen? The firm going to be gone, right? And you don't have gasoline anymore. Okay? So this is a serious issue. But sometimes, people, really would like governments to intervene in the market. But as a matter of fact, that is not right. Okay? So A and B should be easy. Okay? Which one is good for producer, consumer? Low price would be best for consumer. High price, best for producer. But not necessarily, right? Because at this high price, as a matter of fact, the producer can produce a little bit more to make more money. Okay? So not necessarily good. The best is to let the market work. Okay? Okay, question 3. So suppose the market demand is equal to P equal to 40 minus Q, and the market supply is equal to P equals 10 plus Q. Okay? So basically, this is what you need to do. So you have Q, P. This kind of question is not that difficult, so I'm not going to solve the question for you. I'll just draw a chart and tell you what's going on there. So you have supply and demand, right? So you get a equilibrium price, equilibrium quantity, okay? And you get a price to support, okay? So here you have a quantity Q1, and here you have a quantity Q2. So then this is the price government have to pay, okay? The amount government have to pay to support the price, okay? Okay, basically that's it. Question 1 of page 257. So seeing how well the invisible hand can channel its self-interest to social good, some would argue that we must consequently view self-interest, even selfishness, as a virtue in our personal life. Okay? So self-interest, or selfishness. Okay? So Ye Yifang, is selfishness good or bad? From the viewpoint of Adam Smith, the invisible hand, okay, the term invisible hand comes from Adam Smith. So, Ye Yifang, who's Adam Smith? Your neighbor. Okay, so he said most of the people, when they are doing something, right, they actually only have their own interest in mind. But even though they have no interest on the benefits of the other people, actually that's best for him and also for all else in the society. So, do you agree with this? And also, what is virtue? Ye Yifang, what's virtue? Lin Yujiang, what's virtue? louder. Okay. So 叶一方 self-interest, selfishness, is it good or bad? Chen Xizai, selfishness, good or bad?
看什么情况。
So tell us.
对个人来讲是好的。
Okay. What about society?
不好。
Why not? Can you offer your reasoning? 卢佑想 selfishness, good or bad? 张策伟 selfishness, good or bad?
Good.
Okay. Why?
有美德。
No. Here is the question to you. Is selfishness a virtue? Is this one a virtue? Is selfishness sometimes we say, selfishness is not good, right? Because you need to care about the society. But Adam Smith, what did he say? He said, no, you just need to care about yourself. So is selfishness good or bad? Is it a virtue? So Ye Yifang, would you like to say something now? Is it good or bad? And offer a reason. 张志伟 louder. What do you say?
我说我觉得好。
Okay, so but why?
因为大家都自私的话，就没有人情味了。
But you say it's good?
对。
Your reasoning sounds like it's bad, but you say it's good?
我没错他意思。
Okay, 谢金佑 selfishness, good or bad?
如果大家都自私的话，就不会有别人搭便车的问题。但是
Okay.
但是需要损失个人利益，然后对整体利益有益的事情就不会有人去做。
Okay, but sometimes Adam Smith said, if you really care about the society and want to do something good for the society, but instead of making the society better, actually it hurts. So now let me give you one example here. So suppose I'm a doctor, okay? I make a lot of money, okay, but I feel that I should do something for the society. So I joined Tzu Ji, okay? I joined Tzu Ji, and they have some charity event. So I go there, okay, to pack lunchbox for the homeless. So what is homeless? 李云想 what's homeless? Okay, so some poor people, they don't have a place to stay and they are hungry, right? So I joined Tzu Ji and then to pack lunchbox for them. Is it good or bad? I want to do something good. I'm a doctor, right? I want to do something good for the society. So I join the charity and do something good. Okay, so in this case, his behavior is nice to the others, right? He's not selfish, okay? But is it good for the society? 卢佑想 Good. 郑怡玲 Good or bad? Good? Really? 王秀慧 Good or bad? So I'm a doctor. I'm not selfish. Okay, I want to do something good. I make a lot of money. Okay, when I suppose I should give away some of my money or some of my time. So I join a charity, okay, Tzu Ji, and then to pack lunchbox for people. Use my labor, okay. I don't see my patients. I don't make money then. And this time, I use that time to pack lunchbox, to give food to homeless people, to poor people. So is it good or bad? 陈系长。
有好有坏，
Okay, so what's good?
就是对他们，对这些不好的、那些有点惨的人算好。
Okay.
以整体社会来讲，可能会造成他们不去努力的那个。
Really? Okay, so good is he's kind to people, not selfish, and bad, those guys don't make any effort to get a job, to make money, to support themselves. What else? 林玉祥 What's your opinion? Excuse me?
对社会不好。
Why?
因为那个医生会花一部分心力去救济别人，只是没办法让经济效益提高好。
Why?
他把时间贡献给那些那个弱势的团体。
Okay, so in your opinion, what should a doctor do?
就是专注在他的本业。
Excuse me?
专注在他的本业。
Okay, good. So, what's wrong with that? Because there are several issues here. The first one is externality. The first one is externality. So, suppose I produce steel, okay? I'm a steel producer. And I only focus on how much money I make, right? Is it good or bad to the society? Because I don't consider social cost, right? The social cost including I use a lot of energy, right? And also produce a lot of pollution, okay? If there is externality, the social cost, okay? Let me draw a picture for you. So this is quantity, this is price, okay? So that's the same thing on what we have just talked about, okay? Remember biodegradable diaper, right? So here is my private cost, S, right? Private cost. I only consider my private cost. But suppose I have to consider the social cost, including pollution and high energy use. So what happened? So this is the supply curve with social cost, right? So if you allow steel maker to maximize their profit, what you're gonna do? You're gonna have P star here, Q star here. But as a matter of fact, if you consider the social cost, what happened? The price should be higher, the quantity should be lower. Okay? So this is one of the issue on externality. And the second is on what Lin Yuxiang said, okay? Because this doctor, actually he is most productive serving patients, okay? If he serve patients, look at patients, and give them medical care so they're gonna get better. Oh, this is good for society, right? And also the doctor, what are they gonna get? The doctor is gonna get paid, right? Doctors are high income, okay? And so they make their money treating patients. And as a matter of fact, he can continue to serve his patients, but then use the money he makes to hire another person, right? To pack the lunchbox, to distribute food. So, as a matter of fact, he has a job, and also he create a job for some other people to do the work that ordinary people can do, right? Can ordinary people be doctors? No, right? But the doctors, when he focus on his profession, he do the best for the society, and then what? he can use the money he makes to do something good for the society. He doesn't have to do the manual work like a servant, okay, like a clerk, okay, himself. So as a matter of fact, for this doctor, the best he can do is to focus on his profession. Even though, sounds like, we may prefer to see a doctor, okay, going to a, food bank to distribute food, to the homeless people, to the poor people. But as a matter of fact, that is not efficient. Okay, so that's the point of Lin Yixiang. And then we have just talked about it before, right? The demand may only consider private benefit. Okay? If you consider social benefit, that can be something different. Okay? For example, Taiwanese always emphasize education. Why? Because education not only gives you knowledge, but also gives the people surrounding you, your parents, your relatives, also knowledge, right? So that means the social benefit, the demand for education actually should be higher. Okay? So basically, that is something like this. So is self-interest a virtue? It could be, but you have to consider if there's externality. Okay? If there's externality, of course that's not quite good. But externality, it could be diseconomy. Okay? External diseconomy. Or external economy. So really depends on, so there's negative side, right? For steel maker, there's negative side, but for education, there's positive. So it really depends on what you are talking about, okay? So a very difficult issue, but you need to spend time thinking about, how you're gonna do with that. Question 3. The invisible hand ensures that competitive market outcomes are Pareto efficient, but does it ensure that they are fair? What do you believe should go into our criterion? So there are two issues, okay? First is Pareto optimal. Okay, Pareto optimal. This is the first one, okay? The second one is fair. Okay? So, Zheng Yi, what is Pareto optimal? Okay, so what does that mean? It's a term, right? So what does that term imply? Excuse me? Okay, basically, when a society is at a Pareto optimal, it means everyone is satisfied with the current situation. Suppose you want to make someone better, okay? You want to make someone better, someone else will be hurt, okay? If you want to get someone higher or better, someone's going to be hurt. You're going to get worse off, okay? So basically, it is a situation that there's no way you can exchange it and to get something better, because someone get better, someone else going to be hurt, okay? That's first issue, Pareto optimal. The second one is fair. So let me tell you, because later on when we talk about monopoly, we have price discrimination. Okay, price discrimination. Okay, so let us say here it is a perfectly competitive market. So supply, demand, okay, this is what you get. Is equilibrium, quantity, equilibrium price, okay? So basically, this is the marginal utility of each consumer, and also its marginal willingness to pay. And this is the cost, okay? For these guys, the cost is too high, so they are not able to sell. For these guys, their offer price is too low, so they are not able to get, okay? And so here is what you get. And so we say in the long run, okay, for a competitive market, you have price is equal to LAC is equal to LMC, okay? So price is equal to long run average cost curve, average cost and long run marginal cost. So when your price is equal to marginal cost, so for the producer, this is what I pay, right? This is what I pay. And for consumer, this is what you pay. So your price is equal to my marginal cost. So basically, that's good, right? Because I do not exploit you, and you do not overpay. So each one gets whatever they want. And also, because price is equal to LAC, right? So in the long run, competitive firm don't make extra profit. The economic profit is equal to zero. So got what I pay, and you got what you deserve. Okay, so basically, that's what it is. But what about fail? So let us say if a monopoly, okay, a monopolist, so for example, high-speed rail, right? For high-speed rail, is it really fair? I'm a professor, I got full-time job, right? So I have to pay for full price. But you are students, right? You get what? You get discount. Is it fair? Why? Because my contribution to society is good, right? Probably it could be better than you, right? So I should get a discount rather than you, right? So is it fair? So fair and Pareto optimal is two different kind of issue, okay? So, I mean, just like the first question we talked about, right? Producer prefer the high price, right? Consumer prefer the low price, okay? So, in the mind of the producer, the higher the price I get, the more profit I get. So I like that, right? But for consumers, is it fair? The price is too high, right? So you like a lower price. But, what is fair? 陈希仔, what is fair? What is fair? 卢佑祥, what is fair? What does this mean? Fair. 谢金佑, what is fair? Zhang Zhiwei, what is fair?
我印象中我现在想不起来。
李玉祥, what's fair? So can you tell me a case that is fair?
披萨切那个一样大块的给别人。
Okay. So why? So for example, you are bigger, right? I'm smaller. So why should we get the same amount of pizza?
有同样的那个起跑点。
Okay. So because you talk about it, so it's a very famous question. Share a pie. Okay, share a pie. Okay. So, 陈希仔, what's a pie? Can you tell us more what's a pie? Pie is like a cake, okay? Anyway, but different way to make it. Basically a dessert, right? So how to share a pie? Fairly. Okay, how to share a pie fairly?
自己一个人吃，
Excuse me? Louder.
自己一个人，够公平的吗？
you're ambitious. Okay, so he said he should have it all, right? 谢信佑, how to share a pie fairly. And Liu Xiang, you have some idea? You say something, right? No, you have. I heard it. Just not quite clear. Tell us, what's your idea? Why? I mean, this is the question. You say 1/2, right? You are taller than I, and probably also heavier than I, and younger than I, right? So why you and I have the same amount of pie? 1/2, 1/2. Why? Is it fair? Really? So you're gonna get good grade, right? Anyway, 张志伟。
比较胖的人拿吃多一点。
Okay. Are you sure that's the right answer?
你一直问。
I suppose that's the other way around, right? If you are, that is not use fat, right? Say you are bigger. So you should consume a little bit less so that you can be thinner. Mr. Slim, right? And so people like me smaller, you should give me more so I can grow bigger, right? So it should be the other way around.
知道中途。
Go ahead.
大家都吃饱就好了。
If I have to consume the whole pie, what happens? If that's your standard, right? So this is a question. Fair. What is fair to you may not be fair to me. Okay? And so this is very controversial. Okay? Just like the case we talk about, consumer want a lower price, right? But what happened? So we want to have a cheaper gasoline, right? And we get cheaper gasoline, but what happened to the oil company? They suffer loss, right? Is it fair to the oil company? Probably not. So this is a very controversial issue. And why we spend time on this is that, usually we just solve an equation, right? Supply, demand, how to maximize the profit, choosing the production level, what's the market price, okay? That's what we usually do. But you really need to spend time, okay, thinking about what is fair, okay? Because what is fair to me may not be fair to you, right? So you may say you are the bigger guy, so you get a bigger pie. But if you look at the other person, I suppose you already consume too much. You have too much calorie. So you should give some of the calorie to some people that without, right? So a lot of issues here. Okay, let's get to question 4. The same thing, okay? So according to 19th century economist John Rawls and his followers, called Rawlsians, only the well-being of society's worst-off members matters. Okay, look at it. Question. Oh, really? Okay, let's get to question 4 next time.